Hi, guys. Welcome to Curriculum Planning. I always give this disclaimer that I am not tech savvy. I have not figured out how to present my presentation and also show my face in the bottom right hand corner. If you have any ideas, please put them in the comment box below because I've had this trouble with every single class. So it's nice to meet you guys. I look forward to getting to know you. Here is a picture of me and my nephew. He's about 1.5, and I use every opportunity to show him off that I can. Some hobbies that I really enjoy are reality TV. I know it's just trash, but I really, really enjoy it. Staying active. There's a picture of me doing a 5K, and then also a picture of me after I had completed a triathlon. And then I enjoy coaching currently. I coach in the summer for Wheat State Elite, and then I coach during the school year, which I'll get into on the next slide. I really enjoy reading, which has been good during this COVID time as I've gotten to catch up on a lot of the books that I've bought and not been able to read just because of being too busy. And then traveling, hopefully once Corona goes away, we can get out and about and get back to our normal lives. But there's a picture of me and my boyfriend in Colorado and then also in Jamaica. Demographics. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I do. I have worked in Emporia, Kansas for 3 years. I taught aquatics, first aid and CPR, and lifeguarding. I currently just accepted a new job at North Jackson, and I will be teaching 7 through 12 PE and weights. And then I will also be coaching middle school volleyball, basketball, and track. So I'm going to be quite busy, but I'm really excited about that new job. So since I have not worked in the North Jackson district yet, I decided to do my presentation over Emporia School District USD 253. Here are a few of the activities that I feel like are being utilized in 253. Parent-teacher conferences, classroom test scores, power school grades, state testing, PLCs, project-based learning, tier groups, leadership class, CTE, and STEM. So I think that our administrators do a really good job of making sure that this stuff is incorporated in our everyday life and at certain times of the school year. I think they do really well by making sure that all the parents have access to Power School and that we understand our results of state testing. I think we use PLC pretty well. I think it could be done better. Project-based learning has been a really big push for us in our schools, giving kids a voice and choice on what they can do, and picking out kind of the path that they want to take. Something that we offer is a leadership class. I think that's really important. I do believe that more people are born with leadership qualities than others, but it's something that you're taught within your home and your culture and how you've grown up. We also have a lot of pathway classes that show students different career paths or schoolings that they can take. 10 non-academic activities that are utilized by 253. CAP is a big part of our school at the high school level, which is where I taught. We use career and academic planning a lot for social emotional skills. We do book studies. We did 7 skills to make bills. So being accountable, being on time, organized, those are skills that are really important for these students for now and in the future. Clubs and sports, we do a good job of supporting those. We have lots of opportunities for our students, more so than many other schools, and also more so than the school that I'm actually accepted a new job at just because of the size. Crosswinds is a good source for students who have social emotional needs, and that's where counselors come in and work with these students on what they need specifically. I know at the lower levels, elementary and middle school, they have folders and organization techniques. I know in my own personal CAP class that I make them have a folder and give them a folder for every class that they have so they can keep everything organized. We bring in speakers that talk about past experiences. It's that gets to the students most of the time if there's a speaker that can talk about real life things, and I know that they enjoy that. Counseling, family groups is something that I kind of spoke about with another elementary teacher. They have groups within their school where it's a kindergartner, a first grader, second to fifth grade. So one from each grade, and that's your family group. So they get together and do different things, and I thought that was pretty cool way to support each other. We send out a lot of surveys about, especially at the high school level, asking, and especially during COVID, like, how do you feel like you're coping? What do you need help with? Organization, time management. What are those areas that your CAP teacher can help you with to stay focused and be successful? And then something I think is very broad and very big, and a good part of our school would be our non-negotiables and our core values, such as having grit and being accountable. Those are posted all over our school and something that we are reminded of daily. 10 important takeaways from the reading. I thought that this graphic really showed what quality of education a child is receiving. And this showed that the people that were surveyed thought that 52% thought that it was better, and 22% thought that it was worse than the education that they received. I think 22% is a big number and something that definitely needs to be looked into. From Gallup, similar to parents, educators in the interviews also say education is better, but of the educators who believe the quality of education is worse, several identified a surprising culprit: technology. I think that it's really hard to keep people's attention with technology and everything that they need at their fingertips. I find it hard in the classroom as well. And I think sometimes that plays a role in why education is worse, but it also has tons and tons and tons of benefits. Also, a superintendent made the connection between the rise of cell phones and the decline of non-academic skills. This is something I think every teacher can relate to, is having a kid come up and talk to you with his earphones on. That is something I do not tolerate. I tell them I will not speak to you until you take your headphones out. Even if they're not listening to music, I think it's respectful for them to take them out and actually hear you and talk to you. And he believes cell phone technology impedes students' non-academic skill development by drawing them into an alternate world and disconnecting them from the real world. I believe it's hard for some of these kids to communicate with each other unless it's with a cell phone. And I think that has played a big role in our communication levels among the younger generation today. I know that a lot of them have a hard time communicating with one another or communicating with a teacher or parent, and I believe that it plays a huge role. Non-academic skills are necessary as your child matures and matriculates through grade school, onto post-secondary institutions, and eventually into a career. Those non-academic skills, being organized, being able to empathize with someone, seeing other people's point of views, is very important for the future and for now. If you learn how to do those skills now, you're going to be more successful in your post-secondary education. Those who grow up in healthy homes and receive high-quality preschool instruction typically develop skills to regulate their emotions. They pay better attention and build relationships more easily with teachers and peers. Home life plays a role in how children learn, and we've known that for ages. And sometimes there's just nothing a teacher can do about it other than try to give them the resources and empathize with what they're going through and try to help them become more successful despite what their home life might be like. And I do agree that if you have that home that backs you, you're going to be successful. If you are at home and nobody cares about what you're doing, then what's the point of being successful in school? Teachers often lack the preparation to respond effectively to these students in need. As a result, these young people are often labeled with learning disabilities or behavioral disorders when in fact they may be missing foundational skills for learning that are actually teachable. Many times I hear parents say that a doctor wants to put them on ADHD medicine, or maybe they are dyslexic or some kind of disorder or disability that they might have, when in fact they just need to grow up a little bit, and they need a little bit more support from home and from school, and you don't need to go that far. So I thought this was a very interesting piece of text that relates to the misdiagnosis of students. Growth and fixed mindsets, number 7, is something that I've been working towards since my student teaching experience. I had never heard of it until about, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago when I was student teaching. A growth mindset, you need to be able to say that you can't do it now, but you're going to be able to do it at some point. And a fixed mindset is never changing what you're doing. These kids kind of grow up sometimes with a fixed mindset of, I can't do it. I'm not going to try anymore, and it's not going to happen. That's something that we need to teach them, that they can, if they work hard and do what they're asked, that they will be able to reach those goals that they set for themselves. Health, mental health, and other services provided at schools can make a difference. In fact, schools can be an optimum setting for providing these services. I think that you can have these services at home or through another third-party provider. So if your family wants to take you to a counselor or a therapist of some kind, I think that's great. But a lot of times this is missed at home. Children are able to hide it better at home that they might be having a mental health issue. But at school, it's very apparent that there's a cry for help. So this could be a great setting for these types of services. Non-academic barriers to learning can impede upon a student's ability to learn by not allowing them to be engaged in the classroom more to make the most of their academic learning time. The barriers that they have been presented with that happen at home or out of school can really affect their learning time within the school. If you're worried about, what am I going to have for dinner? Did my mom or dad lose their job today? Then learning is going to be a lot harder for you. Number 10, in a review of theoretical and empirical literature, CCRC identified 4 central mechanisms by which non-academic support services appear to promote student success: creating social relationships, clarifying aspirations and enhancing commitment, developing college know-how, and making college life feasible. Although this article was more related to the transition to college, I thought it was very relatable to kids K through 12. Relationships play a big role in the upbringing of life, and it's very important that they can work together with others and learn how to cope with a relationship that isn't working well or an unhealthy relationship that they shouldn't be in. I think they also need to know their goals and be able to develop what college is going to be like and how living on their own could definitely help or hurt them in the learning department, and then making college life happen in general. Number 11, I know it said 10, but I'm going to go with one more. Which barriers most affect your students' academic success? In this particular graphic, they took Teacher of the Year candidates and Teacher of the Year recipients and asked them, what is the biggest barrier that you think keeps students from learning? And that would be family stress. And I think that is definitely very true in most circumstances, that if you're worried about something at home, it's going to affect your day at school. Talking about my principal and how he uses and utilizes different types of activities and such, I would say yes, we that they have incorporated and stuck to our core values and non-negotiables. I know from other teachers in the past that they have not quite stuck to one thing